How does it feel to inspire so many small guards and to get them to believe like, oh, it's possible for you to make it to the highest level when, like I say, height-wise, everybody always strikes you out when you're playing with so many guys that's 6'9" and 6'8" and so forth on, but they always mention your name. Like you can be the next Muggsy Bogues. You can be the next person that can really make it and have success at the highest level. How does that feel to just hear that and everybody have you at that stature?
Well, I'm on it. I truly am. I'm truly on it, and I'm on it in regards because mainly because I was able to do it. If I'm able to do it, why can't you able to do it?
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm able to do it, you should be able to do it as well. It's not about the limitation that you put on yourself. Others gonna put that on you. Once you have the confidence within you, you know, sky's the limit. It's all
Yeah.
about the work ethic, the actions that you put behind it, how you see it and whatever that task is or whatever that responsibility call for. If you're able to do it at the highest level, then you should be able to give them that opportunity. But people put too much pressure on themselves, beat themselves up, and give others that energy that they have that power over you. And when they say that you can't, you truly believe that you can't.
Yeah.
I always believe that, people always tell you who could and who you should be.
Yeah.
But you always know who you want to be, and I always knew that.
Yeah, I never believed in no matter who was the athletic, who was the tallest, who was the fastest. I always felt like the smartest person on the court is the best player on the court. And most of the time when you're kind of the shortest guy on the court, you more the smartest person on the court because you have to figure things out way more than a guy who I'm 6'9". I can slack on certain things because I can get closer to the basket and it's easier for me. But I always thought the smartest guy on the court was always the best guy on the floor.
Well, I mean, you can't dispute the IQ.
Yeah.
Because if you know where to go, you know what's about to happen, where to
And
be
what
at
to
the right
do.
time, then hey, you're gonna be out there. Some coaches love hard workers more than skill
Yeah.
guys. Because they know what they're gonna get out of that guy that's gonna work hard.
Yeah.
That guy who just is skilled. I mean, who knows what type of effort he gonna put forth out there. So I'm the one that believe that anybody is capable of, as long as as much as you believe that you're capable of it, then you should be able to go out there and accomplish it.
What made you take the challenge on defense so much? What what gave you the urge to be like, no, I'm starting off with defense before anything and focusing on defense, wanting to guard some of the best players to play the game. Like you stopped Johnny Dawkins for he had 51 games in a row of double digits, and you stopped him from getting double digits that game and broke his streak. But what made you take pride in playing defense?
Well, for one, I knew the game, and I think people don't understand the importance of the knowledge of the game and how you're able to see it,
Yeah.
especially from a point guard perspective. And for me, having that understanding of a point guard perspective, and I've seen so many guys that played this game, and the coaches as well. And during our era, all coaches, they just like big guards.
Yeah.
Just big guards, big guards. So in order to impact the game as a big guard, I had to change it in a way to where they can look at you just as they look at a bigger player.
Yeah.
So that extension of the coach. And knowing, the responsibility that a point guard has, the main job is getting the ball across half court and getting his team into his offense and getting everybody set. If that's disruptive, if that's a challenge of him doing that, then everybody else is going to have, a little time, and that's always time off the clock. So having that understanding, picking a guy up 94 feet, challenge him to get the ball across half court, that's putting a lot of thoughts in his mind.
Yeah.
Not because we all want comfortability, bringing the ball up. You don't want that pressure like that.
Disrupt this setup.
Yeah. So having that understanding of the game and being able to be a playmaker like I was, knowing it and having that instinct, I mean, I knew that I can impact the game in a way where they can't challenge or they can't question your height.
Yeah.
And when you're out there having it in that regards and you displaying it out there like that, and having games where I didn't even have to score, but I'm controlling the whole game and we winning by 20, they see their IQ level. They see the way that, you're able to run a team and impact a team. And, that allowed me to, be looked upon as just like any other guard.
So you was a 94 feet guard. You guarding the whole floor. Didn't it make you feel good when them point guards used to let somebody else bring it up and set up the play? It's like, I don't want to deal with this shit.
Well, that's the respect. And that's what you wanted.
Yeah.
Because, that's...
Because it messed up their rhythm.
And not only that, it also take that notion out, well, we can just take advantage of his size. We can take him down there and post him up and all that sort of things. And knowing me, and me knowing the game, I knew that, guards not used to playing with their back towards the basket.
Not at all.
So that's a means for us. That's a win-win for me because I know that his skill set doesn't, portray that.
Yeah.
So, and it only take a few seconds in order for, the things to work, for things to got to be moved.
Yeah.
So having that understanding of the game and having the knowledge of the game, it allowed me to keep being, and, as that starter that I was, running my show, running my team as long as I did. And if I wouldn't have got hurt in my knee, I would have been out there for 17 years as opposed to 14.
Was it like certain games, certain nights, like where, like you say, you're a student of the game, high IQ, where you go into the game like, yeah, I'm about to get him. Like, I already, you seeing his cadence, you know what he's doing, and you know where he lacking at. Because it's so many different highlights of you just taking the ball and going the other way. So, like, was it certain games, certain guys you focused on where you focused on weak things where you knew, like, going into the game, I'm going to get at least one on this right here?
Well, we know everybody, all guards have tendencies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing, I always study your tendency, if you like to rock it there, whatever it is. So, and I always anticipate that. And I had a good instinct of that. And that was one of my traits that I understood how to play. And one thing I mess with guys' mind, because I can play you in front of you or behind you, and you still think about where I'm at, because that's the way I played the game. And defensively, where I will let a guy just go in front of me and beat me, because they know I'm playing defense from behind him, I'm going to steal it that way. But at the same time, if he's not looking at me and he's just looking straight ahead, then I'm going to get it. But if he's looking at me, I know he's not focused on what's happening ahead of him. So, I just knew the game in that regard, man. That's why I always try to tell the smaller guards, we got to play it a little different. I mentored the Isaiah Thomas, the Nate Robinsons, Chris Pauls, and all of them as they came in, even though they wasn't as small as I was. But still, you got to still play it a little different in a way to where, you still being that player that you always seen yourself to be.